When terrorists hide behind civilians, they transform innocent people into instruments of war. They seek protection from attack, they seek propaganda when attacks occur, and they seek to turn tragedy into strategic advantage. What if the most powerful weapon in modern terrorism is innocent civilians? Terrorist organizations across Sahel, Nigeria, Somalia, and the Middle East have perfected one of the most cynical tactics in warfare: hiding among civilians so that every counterattack carries the risk of innocent deaths. And when those deaths occur, the same groups responsible for endangering civilians exploit the tragedy to gain sympathy. They recruit followers and then delegitimize their enemies. Tonight, we expose the strategy known as human shield tactic, used by almost all terrorist organizations. A human shield is the deliberate use of civilians to deter attacks or to create propaganda opportunities when attacks occur. In practice, this means fighters may hide inside residential neighborhoods, or they may store weapons in schools or hospitals. They conduct meetings in markets. They launch attacks from densely populated areas. The purpose is straightforward. If opposing forces hesitate to strike, the group retains a safe haven. If they strike and civilians are harmed, the resulting images and headlines can be used to portray the military as reckless or cruel. In Nigeria and the Lake Chad Basin, Boko Haram and Islamic State of West Africa province have repeatedly operated from villages and remote communities in the northeast, northwest, and north-central parts of Nigeria. In areas with weak state presence, Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa province act as a parallel authority, especially collecting taxes. That civilian buy-in in towns and villages makes locals less likely to cooperate with counter-offensives and gives the group early warning of military movements. In Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, extremist groups linked to al-Qaeda and Islamic State move among civilians across difficult terrain. In Somalia, al-Shabaab has long used populated areas to complicate military operations. Al-Shabaab embeds fighters, command nodes, and weapons in towns and neighborhoods, including Mogadishu. When pushed out of towns, al-Shabaab doesn't hold static lines. It withdraws into surrounding rural areas, targeting garrisons with liberated territory. Operating near populated areas lets them cut supply lines and contest control without needing to hold ground. These tactics increase the danger to civilians while also shaping the public narrative when counterterrorism strikes occur. The human shield debate has also featured prominently in conflicts involving Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, as well as urban warfare in Gaza Strip. In dense cities, the distinction between civilian and military spaces become extraordinarily difficult. The result is one of the central dilemmas in modern warfare: how to neutralize armed groups while minimizing harm to non-combatants. When an airstrike hits a location used by militants, the battle often shifts immediately to social media. The Nigeria Air Force has stepped up strikes against Boko Haram and ISWAP in Borno, Yobe, Niger, and Sokoto states. Officials say they killed 592 militants and destroyed over 200 vehicles and 166 logistic hubs. Amnesty International and local CSOs reported several civilians killed in a Katsina strike in February 2025. In Sokoto's Gidanbisa and Runtua, locals said some specified number of civilians died in a strike meant for Lakurawa terrorists. Although the Nigeria Defense Headquarters disputes the claims and calls it misinformation, and the Nigeria Air Force posts its own footage to show precision strikes. The strike happens in Borno, Katsina, or Sokoto, but the real contest for legitimacy plays out on X, TikTok, and Facebook. within the first 24 to 48 hours. Whoever controls the visuals and first story shapes public opinion before investigations finish. Terrorist groups understand that public outrage can be strategically valuable. Even when they lose fighters, they may gain sympathy, recruitment opportunities, and political leverage. This is why the information war is as important to them as the battlefield itself. The use of human shields is widely condemned under international humanitarian law. At the same time, civilian casualties remain a profound tragedy regardless of the circumstances. Professional militaries are expected to take precautions, verify intelligence, and investigate credible allegations of mistakes. Recognizing the tactic of human shields does not excuse civilian harm. Rather, it highlights the responsibility of armed groups that deliberately place civilians in danger. When terrorists hide behind civilians, they transform innocent people into instruments of war. They seek protection from attack. They seek propaganda when attacks occur, and they seek to turn tragedy into strategic advantage. From Nigeria to Somalia, from the Sahel to the Middle East, the pattern is strikingly similar. The battlefield is no longer defined only by weapons and territory. It is defined by narratives, perception, and the struggle to protect civilians from those who would use them as shields. Subscribe to Kann Media Group, like this video and share it. Tell us what you think in the comment section, because in modern conflict, understanding the tactic is the first step towards seeing through the propaganda.